So general manager Julien Brisebois has had an interesting summer to say the least. It hasn't been an easy job for Brisebois, but it's also been kind of easy if that makes any sense. So a team with no salary cap space and really nothing to work with in terms of movement, how could they make this team better? And we'll take a look at some things that the Tampa Bay Lightning had to do this summer. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and a subscribe, and let's take a look at the Tampa Bay Lightning this summer. So the Tampa Bay Lightning, a team that was projected to be a favorite heading into the season to win the Stanley Cup, and kept that going into the Stanley Cup playoffs. Fortunately, they didn't do so well in the playoffs. They didn't win a game. They were swept by a wild card team in the Columbus Blue Jackets, who made the playoffs in the final days of the regular season, if not one of the last day of the regular season in 2019. Tough way to go for the Tampa Bay Lightning, a team that we all pretty much had at least going to the Eastern Conference Finals, Stanley Cup Finals, more than likely, and they get bounced in the first round, ruining everybody's bracket. So, with that said, what did the Tampa Bay Lightning new general manager Julien Brisebois, what did he try to do to fix this team? Now, there's still some things that he has to address with this team, and we'll get into that. Taking a look at the Lightning. So he comes in, obviously taking over a general manager like Steve Yzerman, who has done unbelievable things to build the Lightning to where they are right now. He signed Andrei Vasilevskiy in the offseason, and he brought in a couple of guys via free agency, and not any big names, but some important names. Now, obviously because of the cap constraints that Tampa Bay has right now, that also definitely came into effect. But they were able to sign Vasilevskiy, which is huge. You have your goaltender. They also traded Adam Erne to former general manager Steve Yzerman, nonetheless, for a draft pick. So, it didn't seem like Tampa was going to have the room to sign him. They actually made room for a veteran on the roster, which we'll talk about here in a minute. But they moved out Adam Erne, who they probably couldn't get a deal done, so they bring in someone cheap. That's exactly what Brisebois did. He brought in some defensemen, some forwards, and none of the big names. So we're taking a look, obviously, at Kevin Shattenkirk, who was bought out by the New York Rangers, continuing that trend of the Tampa Bay Lightning, bringing in guys from the New York Rangers, specifically on the back end. They also have guys like Callahan, who used to be on the New York Rangers, Anton Stralman when he was with Tampa. So there's definitely guys. Brian Boyle when he was there. So there was just a lot going on between the two teams for a while. And that kind of continues now with Shattenkirk heading down to Tampa. 1-year contract, cheap deal, and he's going to add some pretty important depth to this Tampa Bay team, which is already very good on the back end. Not only did they do that, they also brought in former Stanley Cup champion, defending Stanley Cup champion, Pat Maroon. So unfortunately, Pat Maroon couldn't continue the story of staying in his hometown there in St. Louis, but he did find a home, and a pretty good one, in fact, playing with the Tampa Bay Lightning, an unbelievable hockey team where everybody has a lot of hopes for the Tampa Bay Lightning yet again this year, and he is going to be a huge part of that. So with that said, there wasn't a ton of movement, but it was important movement for the Lightning. Adding some veteran leadership and a guy like Shattenkirk and Pat Maroon, really good leaders in the room, and definitely something that Tampa, doesn't lack necessarily, but that added assurance definitely helps out. So let me know what you guys think of the Tampa Bay Lightning this summer. We weren't sure what Julien Brisebois was going to do. He still has to re-sign centerman RFA Braden Point. What's going to happen with that? So let me know what you guys think down below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and a subscribe. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.